housing tips. Figuring out some of the most important chicken housing tips will help you ensure that all the things you're doing during the building process are ones that will help you out in the long run. It's quite frequent that chicken farmers make a few critical mistakes in the building process that eventually ends up costing them a great deal of time and frustration in the long run, so it's a must that you get it right the first time around. Having a good plan to follow will help guide your path so you're much less likely to make mistakes along the way. But there are also a few other main things to consider. Here are the chicken housing tips that you need to know. Build a large enough chicken run. The first thing you need to make sure you're getting right is building a large enough chicken run. The chicken run is going to be the primary way that your chickens get exercise, so you don't want them to be feeling overcrowded in this area. You're better off building the chicken run slightly larger than you think you'd need, since this will help give them a bit of extra space on top of what they actually require. Another advantage to doing so is it will help keep predators a farther distance from your actual chicken coop. Be sure you're building a good base. Next, also be sure you're taking the time to build a good base, since this will determine the structural integrity of your overall coop. It's something you don't want to skimp out on. Consider a mobile chicken coop. Next, also think about mobile chicken housing options. It will be easier to build a mobile chicken coop if you're only planning on keeping a few birds, since the smaller size is easier to move around and will be less prone to wear and tear, so be sure you're keeping that in mind also. Don't overlook location. Finally, also be sure you're not overlooking the location when thinking about chicken housing. You want to build in an area that's not too low and lying, otherwise water may collect around the base and this can cause big problems. Also, be sure you're building in an area that does get a decent amount of natural sunlight, since that too will be necessary if you are to get fresh eggs on a daily basis. So keep these points in mind. The process of building chicken housing doesn't have to be overly complicated if you have a good plan to follow and take your time. You can save a great deal of money in the process, so definitely don't be frightened off by the thought.